And ladder on gravel slope, not great. So we just pounded some stakes in. I'm sure that's perfectly safe. Oh, hey there. Welcome to Lost Cause Ranch. Today we make some good progress on the security of the old Lost Cause Ranch Land Rover shop. I mean, I guess security is still lacking a little bit. But either way, big strides in shop build today. So got our first little sprinkle since the roof's been on. You can see I should probably put that ridge cap on. We get a wet line right down the center. All right, it is time to figure out this whole man door installation thing. Never installed a door before, but I guess that hasn't stopped me yet on anything. First time for everything, gotta learn somehow. Probably pull that nail out so the door works. Gonna go right about here, and I think we need to do some vertical 2x4s, but I'm just kind of winging it. That is such a good doorway, if you ask me. But I believe we got this thing all framed in correctly. Door sitting there. Plop that guy in place. And I just think we do a little zippy, 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 zippy. Maybe a little zippy, zippy there. Stuck. I know shims are pretty common in door installs, but I think I'm pretty happy with that. And even though I just dropped that level, she's nice and level, or plumb. It's right. Since we haven't used a nail on the building, I tucked the screws behind the weather strip there. And there it is, we got a man door. So we got 2 holes to get into the building. I do need to nip the end of that 2x4 off, and then I believe that is all complete. Figure out what I want for a handle. Much cleaner. I don't think I've ever been to this place yet. Till we meet again, probably tomorrow. The LR4 gets a little cramped when you still have all the camping gear. Yes, the camping gear that I didn't even use this weekend inside, but we picked up our drain. Concrete is lined up, so gotta get busting. This whole process is getting awful draining. I'll show myself out. So got a couple of our drains here. Gonna lay these guys out. Obviously the steel won't be there, but I'm gonna lay these 2 out. I'm undecided, I may add a third. These are 39 inches each, which is more than enough capacity to capture whatever water we're gonna have from washing cars and shoot it out the back of the building. And then I had the concrete guy here. Yes, we have concrete lined up, and it's gonna happen before the snow flies, which is good because, as you can see, the weather is changing. Winds are blowing in, leaves are falling down, and it's getting kind of chilly. But originally I wanted to put a floor sink or a circular drain in this area. Pressure washer, hose bibs, bucket fill, and everything will be mounted on this wall. And no matter what, pressure washer always seems to leak eventually, along with hose bibs and spillage and fill-in. It would just be nice to capture that here and not have it run across the floor when you don't need it to. But the gentleman doing the concrete, who is pretty good in the area, the one thing I don't trust myself for, but that gentleman said he put a round drain in there with it being in the middle of a slope to that drain. He said it's going to get all wonky on you on the slopes and pitches, and he's like, you may not like it the way you think you will. So we were discussing this, and I came up with the idea. I'm like, well, how about we put another channel drain right there and space it out from the wall a foot or so. So anything that drips will drip on this side of it, and then we'll keep that pitched in line with the rest of it, so we won't have to change any of the pitch going to that drain over there. It'll just stay there at that pitch, and it'll just collect everything that comes out. He also suggested leaving more of that relatively flat. He's gonna have a tiny bit of pitch in so it stays away from the walls, but we are going to center this drain on the garage door, which puts us roughly 7 feet out. So all we're going to do is go another 7 feet this way, and that will be the pitch towards the drain. As you can see, we also have a little bit of a roof leak. Wonder where that's coming from. The side's not quite watertight either. So doing our upper corner trim here, just kind of a unique little piece. Got the old Harbor Freight angle grinder out. Got our 412 on the top. Little cutout for the soffit. So we're obviously on a bit of a drop, and I gotta go up there, which is tall, and ladder on gravel slope, not great. So we just pounded some stakes in. I'm sure that's perfectly safe. Well, look at what we have. Our replacement steel just showed up, unloaded with a little Bob Kitty. And as you can tell, it's now down to 30 degrees. We need to get this guy closed in. Well, those aren't the right color. No, they just have some scrap on top to cover them. So far, that edge looks much better. And my one concern was that these two were going to be made at different times. So I was kind of worried about color variation. And from right here, they look pretty close. And here we are the next morning. That right there is as far as I could get it before it got too dark. But it's starting to look pretty nice, and I am happy that it matches. But right now, we're down to doing some oddball cuts to frame the garage door out. My only concern about that is getting the panel up there by myself, because it's going to be skinny and fat up top. Kind of like a hockey stick, but upside down. So it'll be extra floppy. Then I gotta figure out how to get it squeezed in between the upper and lower J-channel. And we are collecting quite a bit of leaves in the shop still. I was kind of hoping more of them would stay out now that that wall's in place, but the 12-foot wide door apparently is big enough to fit a leaf through. is starting to look pretty snazzy now. We got the entire front covered up, and I am excited. We also have our long piece that came in. We were waiting on that guy for right there so we can move this way. We are almost closed in. How real does that feel now? Well, this isn't the greatest sign for things to come. Lost a lot of green leaves last night. It got down to like a bitter 15 degrees. Pretty excited to have my yard somewhat back and not have steel laying everywhere. As much as it has looked like a junkyard lately, I don't enjoy that. Much nicer. Feels like it's been years since something hasn't been sitting there. I mean, it's only been like a month, but feels like years. My dead grass proves it. But look at that shot, ladies and gentlemen. We just have 2 panels left. I'm waiting for some J trim to come in from Menards. I was supposed to come today, now delayed till a week from today. I have both those panels cut, but look at that view. We have our 3rd corner trim up, and it is starting to look like a building. Someone needs to wash some panels. Got a little rain when they were on the ground. Shop is looking small and dark now that we are getting it just about closed in. And when you park something in it, you really get a size perspective. I wish we had more, but this is as big as we could do in this spot, but it is way better than nothing, so I'm not going to complain about that. We have our concrete lined up, and we will talk about that more in the next shop video. Even though the weather's changing and it's going south or north, because it's cold, whatever you want to say. It's happening yet this year still. Pulled a couple strings and the gentleman is doing me a favor, so that's good because I'm kind of late to the game. In other important Land Rover news, we have our fresh oil pump gear for this guy. So maybe the next video will be on this guy and we'll make sure that front cover is not garbage. Hopefully not. I appreciate all you guys sticking around for this shop build. This is a big moment for me. I've had shops before, bought one, leased some, but this is the first one on my personal property. I'm living the dream. Got a little bit of land, neat house, pile of Rovers, and now my own shop. Feel very grateful at this point and happy I get to share it with all you guys. It's gonna be nice to have a roof over some of the Rover heads because this thing got frickin' annihilated by a pterodactyl. Is that how you cut a tire down?